I know you're brilliant. You click on this video, but I also know you're operating at 20% of your actual potential right now, and you don't even realize it. I've worked one-on-one with over 400 founders, from six-figure consultants to nine-figure e-com moguls. And what I've seen over and over again is that they all could be building something 5 times the size of what they're running and be 5 times happier while running it. Because the IQ is there, the talent is there, their skills are sharp, they're competent, they're ambitious. They have the ability to get there, but they get outcompeted by folks that are much less brilliant than they are. They are plagued by brain fog and self-doubt, and they know there's a better way. Now, quick pause. If you're actually serious about executing with clarity, focus, and consistency every single day, we've worked hundreds of founders, remove procrastination and burnout by about 90%, triple the productivity within about 6 weeks, and we're rated 4.7 on Trustpilot. So if you truly want to succeed fast, the easy way, book a call with us. Because see, when you're smart, in the early days of anything that you try, pure intelligence always carries you. You outthink competitors, you see opportunities everybody else misses, and every time you're faced with the problem, you solved it by being smarter, by finding the solution no one else could find. Your intelligence has always been your superpower. It always worked until it stops working. You hit a ceiling. Until you find yourself working harder, but hitting problems that you don't know how to solve. And you start recognizing specific symptoms. You start having an attention span that lasts for 2 minutes. You can't sustain deep focus for up to 90 minutes. You make reactive decisions instead of strategic decisions. And one high stakes meeting wipes you for the rest of the day. And you are exhausted all the time. Small stressors trigger disproportionate reactions. And the strange part is that you still know what should be done. You're still smart, but you just can't execute on what you know. It's like you're driving a Ferrari, but you never learn to shift out of second gear. So you watch Hondas pass you and you don't even know why that is. And since you're smart, you diagnose. You say, I need better systems, I need better people, I need a better strategy. So that's what you do. You hire more talent, you bring in consultants, you read 10 more books, none of it works. And you can't even figure why. Well, I'll tell you what that is. Because you have a massive potential, but you can only access it sporadically. This is why you see strategic opportunities, but you can't pursue them. When you know what decisions are the right ones, but you can't really take them. When you plan deep work, but you can't sustain it. That is the reason why you're operating at 20% of your potential. And every attempt to fix it with more knowledge makes the waste worse. And here's why this happened. Nobody ever told you that there are 2 types of skills. You have technical skills, which is what you're capable of doing. Strategy, marketing, sales, operations, leadership. You've spent your whole life building these. School rewarded you for learning faster. Business rewarded you in the beginning for strategic thinking. So you know that's all there is, but you're wrong. There's a deeper skills called performance skills, which train your capacity to actually execute on technical skills. For instance, is staying calm, collected, and in control even when you haven't really slept, under intense stress, under intense pressure, making high quality decisions when you have little data available, when you can sustaining focus when you haven't really slept. And nobody ever told you needed to train these. This is why I say you're sitting on massive technical capability, but you can't consistently access. Technical skills are your potential, performance skills are your throughput, your focus, your resilience, your endurance, your consistency, your regulation. You can have a massive engine, but a clogged fuel line. That's the waste. And training performance skills is what makes elite operators elite. Because without performance skills, what typically happens is you start executing consistently. You have maybe 3 good days out of 7. So that creates further stress and frustration. You know you're capable of more, but you're not doing it. And that more stress degrades your capacity further. So sleeps get worse. So focus drops. So your nervous system dysregulates. Now it's 2 good days out of 7. So you compensate by learning more, by building new frameworks, new strategies, new tactics. But more technical capability without performance capacity creates more waste. And the gap between what you're capable of and what you're actually doing gets wider. This is why brilliant founders stay stuck for years. They keep trying to solve a performance problem with more knowledge. It's like trying to run a marathon by reading books about running. At some point, you need to learn how to train your heart and your muscles to actually run it. And the part that will probably piss you off, and it should piss you off, is that the founders that you are actually looking up to, they're not more intelligent than you. They probably don't have better technical skills and most likely don't work harder. They just have trained the thing you didn't know needed to train. Let me give you a very concrete example. A past client of mine who was stuck at 9.5 annual recurring revenue for about 3 years. And he thought his problem was he didn't have good enough team and operations. So he has cycled through endless operational consultants. He have rebuilt his systems, first in Notion, then in specific apps, doing all sorts of things. And he still couldn't figure out why he wasn't growing. As soon as we run a deep analysis on how he performed and how he made decisions and how he showed up, we realized that he was compromised on 3 specific levels. First one was purely physiological. He was stressed out of his mind, in chronic fight or flight mode. His HRV, heart rate variability, which is a measure of your stress, was 35, which is very low. Then on attention wise, since he was in survival mode, his focus was non-existent. He couldn't zoom out to see the big picture. He was literally jumping from one task to the next, accumulating attention residue that led nowhere. And psychologically, he had trapped in this loop of saying that he didn't deserve to cross 10 million ARR, because if he was deserving of it, he would have already done it. And we also find out that all this constant operation cycling was created a bad culture in his business. He was snapping at his employees instead of coaching them every time they make a mistake. In other words, it was him at the top compromising the whole business strategy. And he was very smart. He knew what he needed to do in order to get to the next level, but he just couldn't. And every strategy work he did, it wasn't because he needed to, it was his anxiety response. In essence, he was literally building new operations, hiring new team members to soothe his own panic. So what did we do? Well, obviously, the first thing we do is regulate his biology and retrain his attention span. With about a month and a half, his HRV doubled to about 65. The brain fog lifted. He realized that the belief that he had was not deserving of crossing that 10 million IRR was self-induced, and we reworked that. And within 4 to 5 months, he finally crossed that level. So in essence, it's never about what you know, it's about what you can do with what you know. And ability to get things done is a trainable skill. Because I've worked with hundreds of founders, and the ones scaling effortlessly are not smarter. They don't have better strategies. They just can access more of their potential. They can actually make better decisions under pressure. They can stay consistent even when they don't feel like it. They make the right choice, not the easy choice. They might do the hard task, not the easy task. They prioritize the important work, not the urgent work. And those are all performance skill based. And this compounds very quickly. The more you do the right thing in the right way, the easier it becomes doing it in the future. So you consistently become a much better founder and CEO. Not because you work harder, but because you train the right skills. And when you train your performance, you stop wasting that potential. You stop wasting 3 out of 4 days, and you start consistently executing every single day of the week. The more you get done the right way, the more momentum you have, you get better sleep, you get a more regulated nervous system, your mind is in the right place, you start doing harder and harder tasks, and you're just as smart as you were before. You're just not wasting IQ points in distractions, doubt, and burnout, like you most likely are right now. Now, the question becomes, how do you train this? Well, we train it in Selfmastered, my company, in 5 specific pillars. First is spiritual, which everything that pertains with your sense of identity, your core values, your purpose, and your metacognition. And when you dial yourself spiritually, you become calm, collected, and in control of everything that you do. You don't get emotionally hijacked, and you're clear on how to prioritize. When you master the second pillar, mental pillar, you're able to sustain focus and make fast decisions and manage your cognitive load much better. You rework your belief system so you never doubt yourself. Then the third pillar is your physiological pillar, which is all about optimizing your stress management, becoming burnout proof, and having recovery systems that allow you to consistently make good decisions. Then we have the strategic pillar, which is clarity that enables your execution. So instead of having a zillion things to do, you only have one thing that is the most important. You know what matters and what to ignore. And finally, the executive pillar is all about reducing cognitive load by creating systems that help you do the right work almost automatically. Most founders only work their technical skills, like their marketing, sales, operations, but elite founders train both technical skills and performance skills. That is why they can access their ultimate potential. So if you're sitting on ideas, you never execute. If you see opportunities, but you don't have the capacity to pursue them. If you know what to do, but you can't do it consistently. If your best work only happens on Mondays while you're rested, but from Tuesday onwards is a shit show, you're not lacking potential. You're wasting it. Your capability is there. You just need to train yourself to access it consistently. And the problem is that every time you operate at 20% potential when you could be operating at 9%, that is a compounding waste of that potential. The good news is that performance is trainable. Just like you train your marketing skills, you train your ability to focus, to make the right decisions, and to execute consistently. Now, what's tragic is that statistically, you're likely to hear this advice and start reading more books about how to fix yourself, take more courses, and eventually you realize that you are in the same position, just more frustrated, more exhausted, and more confused about why it's not working. Brilliant founders do not prioritize technical skills or performance skills. If you ask any successful founder, he will tell you that the reason for their success is their ability to keep going, make the right decisions, focus deeply, and execute consistently. In other words, it's all about their performance. So the answer is not learning more technical skills, it's always knowing how to do more of what you already know you should be doing. Especially in this age where everybody has access to the same information, same strategies, same framework, same secrets. If you want to know how to set up your YouTube channel, you can Google that. If you want to learn how to create the perfect email campaign, there's a ChatGPT prompt for that. So anyone has access to the same information. Technical skills are becoming commoditized. The only edge is being able to consistently execute them. The edge is performance skills. This is what separates founders to waste their potential from founders who actually use it. And it's never about being smarter. It's about accessing more of what you already have. So if you're done leaving potential on the table, if you truly want to succeed by training the performance skills every elite founder trains, book a call with us. We will run a full decoding session on exactly what is the source of you staying stuck and give you a personalized roadmap that is guaranteed to help you access that potential you now don't know how to do it. See you on the call.